Hi guys, NCWQ here. Well, I had a great last week with my daughter going to Florida. She's also known as Sharnik's TBS. We went to Florida for my son's wedding. Sorry, I didn't take a whole lot of photos. I took photos at south of the border. If I can figure this out, that's the car we rented. This is south of the border. And I took pictures at the border of South Carolina and Florida. My daughter took plenty more. You can find her at Sharnik's TBS on TikTok. So, anyways, has anyone ever rented a car? I had an experience. We didn't get the car that we had originally reserved. We got there around 12 p.m. to pick up the car, and were told we would have to upgrade to an SUV, which cost $270 more, and ended up being a Jeep Compass. Nice looking car, however, it had some issues. The backup camera would stay on after you were driving forward, and the brakes were quite touchy, which made me a bit nervous. Other than that, the car was okay. I wasn't very comfortable driving the rented car because of the brakes. And also, when it rained, the windshield wipers would squeak, 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 which wasn't something I really liked. It kind of reminded me of a vehicle that needed to have the windshield wipers replaced. Anyways, we left the next day and all went well except a near accident which had me go off the road. The near accident was in front of us, and because of that, and a semi truck right on my tail, I had no time to slow down. And in order for the semi truck to miss me, I hit the grass. The semi truck driver asked if we were okay, and thanked us. We continued on our way after that. Due to my medical issues with my back and other things, our 8-hour trip was a 12-hour trip, and we got into where we were headed at about 11:30 at night. We hung out and I passed out on the couch. The next morning, Sharnix and I went to Waffle House, and then we went off to the beach. And this is south of the border, pictures I took there. This is Florida. Um, However, it was too hot for me to stay more than a few minutes at the beach. She was going to put on her fursuit, which is what you can see in this picture, her wearing the fursuit, hat and paws. And she went to go back to go get the fursuit, and I had actually sat on the beach. And by the time she got back, I was like, I can't take this anymore. So we ended up leaving. After that, we went to the mall and talk about old memories. I used to work there. We wandered around a little bit, and I reminisced about the old days when I was 17, 18 years old. I used to work as an opinion taker at the mall, and I also worked at the lemonade stand. Um, it's a little restaurant that makes lemonade, and I worked there when I was 17, 18 years old. That evening, we all went out to have Mexican food, and they have really great food. I broke my carnivore diet and enjoyed whatever I ate, and I didn't gain a pound. However, back home, I am back to my carnivore diet and a last month of work for me. I am down almost at 173, so I still want to get to my 160 goal. So, the wedding day, we woke up early and went to help set up the venue. It had been really, really windy that morning when we got out to the beach area where the venue was. It ended up being a beautiful little building on the beach, a lovely place. The wedding was at 6 p.m. and it was so beautiful. I was so happy to see my son marry his love. She is an awesome woman who I really think highly of. The next morning, we all went out for brunch. The rest of the day was relaxing except for a run to a store called Five Below, which I'd never heard of before. I now know we have one in Fayetteville as well. Had to look it up when I got back to see if there was one. So that's really cool. The next day, Sharnix and I woke up early along with my son and his wife as they were leaving on their honeymoon and us back to Fayetteville. The trip back seemed to take shorter time as we got back earlier. But thing is I think it's because we left so early in the morning is why we got back earlier. I actually stopped more times than I did going down to Florida. Um, we actually stopped and ate at IHOP on the way back and stopped at every little rest area, stopped at every little truck stop. And for me, for the first time, I went to Buc-ee's. So we stopped at all the Buc-ee's to see if there was anything different about them. And got my got my sister a mug and got a T-shirt for my brother-in-law. So you all, this has been my last week. The wedding was beautiful, and it was also a good vacation for me. This is South Carolina. This is the beach. While I was gone, I left my car with someone and returned to my windows, having been repaired. That's awesome. I'm glad to be home. However, the trip was expensive in the rental of the car and gas. So if you would like to contribute to my PayPal, it's appreciated. Anywho, this has been my last week. I hope you all have had a great week. I will be back to video making this next week. Much love to you all. Remember to be good to yourselves and each other. Much love.